Yeah, boys, I am back on my new bike. This is the MT-09 80 Concept Edition. Yeah, it's not just an MT-09, this is my MT-09. Oh yeah, right now it's mine. And it is just perfect. It has a lot of power, maybe a little bit too much. I want to be in front of a tanker truck. Which works. This bike is just crazy fast, crazy torquey. I haven't ridden it long enough to tell my review about this bike, but the first impressions about the first 1000 kilometers on this bike is just amazing. The throttle is a little bit twitchy for slow riding, like riding in this condition behind a truck. Yeah, you better put it in B mode because you won't get any further. And in corners, in slow technical corners, you could also put it in B mode because the throttle is so twitchy. It's an on and off with a lot of lag in it. It's it's the throttle by wire that isn't nice enough. So I think I need to reflash this this bike, or reflash the ECU. Maybe I can find someone who can do that. No idea who can do that, but whatever, I will find a way. The suspension wise, this bike is on full tilt. It's fully it's on full hardness. I know that this bike is on full hardness because I tried to even to make the suspension even harder, but it didn't work. The adjusters couldn't turn any further, so that quite sucks. But for my weight, 60 kilos, sub 60 kilos, it feels quite alright. For heavier people it feels like a pogo stick, but for me, a light Asian rider, yeah, this is quite nice enough. But I do like some more adjustability to put in the rebound damping too. But yeah, for the moment I don't really race this bike. It's more for street hooting, so yeah, it's nice. So you might also notice that I have put on some hand guards, the crash bar, and my trusty RAM mount, and a top case thingy, a tank bag I mean. And that's just to make everything easier with commuting. Like my phone, when it's empty I can just put on the power bank, and that just charges my phone. So I don't need to pull any wires or put any electronics under the seat or under the tank, making everything more difficult to work on for the for the boys that need to work on the bike. As you can hear, this bike also has a special exhaust, the X-Race Z7, which already has an accident. Well, yeah, not really an accident, the paint just comes loose because it was so hot. No idea why the paint comes loose, but painted exhausts are just a pain in the ass. It's just ugly as fuck. But with the black theme of this bike, it quite fits. And just this bike just feels like a mad cow. Again, it's not the same as the Zero SRF, but it has a lot of torque, I must say. pass on this bike isn't really possible unless you try to. Or maybe I don't ride this bike hard enough. This is fine. This is a really nice bike to just hoon around on. Just don't make the wrong mistake of downshifting too much in the corners, because this bike will slide out the rear tire when you are downshifting too much in the corner. Look, we will put this bike in the B mode, and now you can see that the bike isn't really that responsive anymore in the corners, so technical riding is easier with this, but it still picks up really nice. Anyway, more about the sound of this bike. This bike has a triple cylinder, as you might notice yourself too. The CP3 engine, 850cc something something, 114 horsepower I think, with 85 newton meters of torque, if I'm correct, and the torque is somewhere in the mid-range and not in the top range, so this bike has a lot of grunt. And we will check if there is a car, and yes, there is. And maybe after this car we can go. But B mode is also a nice mode to ride in if you're a beginner rider. Of course, like me, I just have 5 years of my riding. I just ride 5 years, and this is the first time I imagined having so much power behind under my ass. The brakes feel a little bit worse, especially the rear brake. You cannot feel when you are getting into ABS. You just feel the bike going daka daka daka, just like FX's bike, his exhaust. And yeah, that's that. You can't really feel how much brake you're applying to the rear wheel, and to the front wheel you don't know either. But the brakes are normally a little bit worse for a sport bike. You might imagine having a radial brake master cylinder on this bike, but this one has an axial one, which reduces the brake feel, of course, a little bit. For normal riding, this is rather, yeah, it suffices for normal riding. What I do like, or what I do want on this bike, are some braided brake lines like my Transalp, because that makes the brakes feel a little bit better, and it doesn't expand the hoses too much, because they are braided, of course. Now let's put this bike in A mode to see what this can do. That wasn't even full throttle, and I can already feel the front wheel going up. Just A mode is insanity. The throttle response is just double that of the B mode, maybe triple that. That's just crazy. If you think standard is already twitchy and on and off, then A mode is just double on and off. Also, I don't know what this weird thingy is between my throttle and the throttle housing, but there's something loose. Don't know what it is, but it seems that in A mode you can already pull wheelies. Well, yeah, pull power wheelies. Let's check if that's true. Yeah, a little bit, not too much. You need a little bit more pull on the handlebars, but in A mode, yeah, this bike is just insanity. And that's why I bought this bike, because I wanted a little bit more fun with torque. I wanted a light bike that you can flick from left to right without any problem. This bike is yeah, the pinnacle of hooliganism. If you think the Transalp is already hooligan-esque, then yeah, this bike is the most hooligan you can go. That was a little wheelie. In A mode, wheelies are just crazy. In B mode you can probably do one, but it's more difficult. Let's check it out. Nope. But I need a shorter clutch lever for pulling off this thing, because with the normal clutch lever I will pinch my finger. And I really want something that yeah, that is more controllable, where I can grab the handlebars with 2 fingers, with my pinky and my ring finger, and then use the rest with my middle finger and my pointy index finger. So I probably need to find some way to get a shorty clutch lever on this bike, because the clutch doesn't feel that much different of the Transalp. It will be fine. This won't fit, I think, or does it? Will it fit? Yes, it will. So that concludes a little bit of a small first impressions of this bike. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.